So yeah, this scene is just this simple little teddy bear, and it was all made procedurally with simple shapes and like spheres that were stretched, and then we did a couple push and pull with a soft transform. So if we look, let me see right here, this is the first shape we have here. So we started from a sphere, we got a soft transform, right? And then we rotated it so it was like this. And same thing we did with a couple other spheres, and we came up with this. And then for the side of the head, it's very similar idea, but we used the torus for the ears. We flattened the front of the face and the mouth area, the nozzle. And then we did a VDB, meshed all that stuff in, and then did a quadri mesh. We colored it brown, and then we just put little spheres for the nose and the eyes that were squished in. Then we put everything together. And then right here, we lifted it up to 0. We scaled it down a bit. We subdivided it. So we subdivided it, and then we started doing our entire grooming stuff here, all the grooming tools. And then what we did is we painted, we added an attribute paint, and we put in hair length. And if I show you what that looks like, so everything that's red is where the fur is going to grow, and then the parts that I painted is where the eyes are, and that's where we don't want it to grow. And then I just kind of blurred that same attribute, so it's a little bit smoother. Right here's a little harsh, so with the attribute blur, you blur the same attribute, hair length. And then we added the hair generator. And then under length attribute, we put hair length, which is the attribute we created. And you can see there's the hairs are not growing as big in those areas that we painted. Then from there we did the guided vect, which I didn't really use, but you can pretty much do this setup. If you go to the grooming tools, go to, let me see, is it called curved vect or? I forgot the name of it. I think it is guided vect. And then what you do is you draw the curves on the geometry. And then the fur will actually follow the contour of where you draw those curves. And then we did another groom here. And this one was, what was this one for? I think we just smoothed things out here. We added like wave guide process for the grooming, which is just adding a little bit of randomness there. And then can't remember why I did this one. Let me turn, if I turn it off, does it do anything? Yeah, so this one's not really doing much for us. And then I did the same thing here. We painted the attribute length, and you could see the where the eyes are, it gets really it's cut in there. And then we did a hair clump, which I might change. And then we added frizz. Then we merge all that stuff in there. Then we got our bear. And if we go back, I did for the ground, I did something more simple for that. Let's go here. So essentially it's just a grid. So it's just a grid, and I added UVs for the texture, added the hair generator, just generates these lines. Then we clumped it. You could see the clumping going on there. We added frizz, and then we used the attribute from map. So, and then I put in a texture, the texture that I'm using for the ground, the actual grid. And then we're using the colors of that. So then now it gets that rug texture that I added. And then we merge everything in. Then if we go back under the materials, under the fur ground, I just put the geometry color on the base color, and that's pretty much what I did with that one. And then here in hair, we just colored it kind of like a brown. And the skin, it's using also the geometry color because I put it for the little eyes and the nose to be black, and then the skin is the brown, and I blurred a little bit the roughness. And then here just two textures, for one that I used that I'm not using anymore, and then the one for the ground. And then so yeah, I didn't mean to move the camera. Let's leave it how I had it before. Okay. And then here, I just have a light here and then another light on this side. Can't really see it. Let me turn off the room. So there's both of them. So one from the back that's kind of bluish, and then one in the front. And then if we jump back to the camera, this is kind of where I'm at with things. So what I wanted to do is possibly create a scene where there's like this teddy bear in some sort of room on the floor, and then maybe I model like a remote control or something like that that's like off to the side in front of it, and then I don't know, like something bad happened. Maybe there's like a light pool of blood or something. I don't know if how that's gonna look, but because it's Friday the 13th, that's kind of what I was thinking, for it to be a little bit dark. And this is kind of like the remote that I found online. So let's see what we can do. Let's do a SOP create. Now that you're all caught up. We could start with a box. And scale it down. Maybe something like that. I'll add a soft transform. I'm wondering if soft transform works with edges too. I think it's just with polygons. So if I pick this here, or maybe these two. Let's see. Had the wrong thing selected. All right. Let's turn off this grid, is distracting. And let's go to primitives. Oh, it looks like I gotta select points. That's what it is. All right. So let's go to the side view. I don't really want to pull the ones in the bottom. Because the controller has like a curvature on the inside. So that's kind of what I was trying to do. But maybe we do a different technique instead. Let's go to, let's put the grid back on. And in here, go to points. Okay, we're already in points. We'll do a curve. We'll put grid snapping and then do this. I should have gone 3 on the other side. Let's go back. So from 0, we start here. Okay, and then now let's go to the profile view. And we can do an extrude. Or we could also do a polycap first. up and back. Okay. Something like this. And then we can do on this middle piece right here, we'll just do a poly bevel. Okay, let's see what's going on here. It's not letting me do the poly bevel. I've had this issue before. Maybe I need to fuse everything. This one here. Okay, so I gotta delete it. How's it going, Johan? I know you told me you do a lot of procedural modeling stuff. Thank you. Blasted zero, perfect. That's what we needed. I'm just wondering why I get issues when I'm trying to bevel this section here. So I selected the curve, right? Oh, there you go. So maybe, did it have to do with this, with the blast? Yep. Yep, okay. All right, so now we know we have to delete that white curve that sticks out, because then we can't do any procedures after that. And I'm wondering if the fuse does anything for us too. Yeah, the fuse also helped. So Johan, what I'm trying to model here is this remote. I think it should be simple enough. I just kind of brute force it. I just do booleans and things like that. And it's probably too thick. So I could just transform it down on the Y. Maybe like this. And then I'm thinking of a boolean probably. So obviously not there. We got to move our box. Not like that. Okay. I think the remote is a little longer. Like my remote is too fat here. I gotta stretch it out a little bit. So we'll just extrude it more. Maybe like that. Just a little bit more. Today is fur. Obviously this is nothing to do with fur. Earlier I was explaining the setup that I have, but I'll just show you real quick. Since today's Friday the 13th, I'm doing something hopefully that just it's a little bit creepy maybe. And here I have a bear that I modeled really quickly, like with spheres and like soft transforms for the legs and for the arms. And then the head is like just toruses for the ears, and then spheres for the rest of the face. And then I meshed it all together with VDB, and then left the spheres for the nose and the eyes separate. And then we're doing the grooming for the bear and for the rug, the carpet. So I want to put like a remote here, like if somebody was watching TV and then something bad happened, maybe there's like a little pool of blood or something, I don't know. But I want to put this remote here and then do something else to kind of draw attention to some creepy idea or concept there. But yeah, that was it. I mean, I could if you're interested, I could show you the grooming, but I'm gonna go ahead and as for now, I'm just gonna go into the modeling and this and see if I could do this quickly. Yeah, I want to fill in the scene a little bit with just some props, or yeah, we'll see if the remote is enough or if it needs something else. Maybe like broken glass or something, like on the side or something like that. That could be interesting. Okay, so let's see where we're at. So we're doing the boolean here. Let's remove the magnet snapping. So it's something like this, and then the bottom is slightly bigger, right? And then we'll put a null. So that's just gonna be a bunch of little boxes that are polybeveled. Polybeveled. All right. Merge. I should start creating shortcuts for some of these tools, these nodes, so I don't have to type them in. Okay, so let's scale this down. And we'll poly bevel, and this should work right away. Yep. I like to do a couple of transforms just so I have one, you know, like stacking, just for tweaking things. Sometimes what I'll do is like I'll put one transform for scaling and then the other one's going to be for positioning it. Okay, and then just to test to see if we have a good enough size, we could do the copy transform. And then if we just shift them, not this side, this way. We can see if it's enough. So we have, it's probably not enough here. So we might need to make it smaller. Yeah, so maybe something like this. Let's see what else. Let's move the thing right here. And then going to the bottom, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So if we're to do this again, well, the buttons are a little bit bigger. So let's do another setup here. And then we'll make this button bigger. Let's also move it down. Okay, so that kind of emulates that bigger gray button. And then if we do another copy to not copy, yeah, copy to transform, copy and transform. Now we, instead of going to the Z, we do X. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and we need one more, 7. And that should be enough spacing for us. So something like that. And I'm wondering what's the best way to add these numbers and symbols to these copies, if I should just do it manually and position them, or just kind of create each button individually. Yeah, we'll see. All right, so let's merge. I want to keep these together. And my thought process here is packing these and then just deleting the ones that I don't need. So if I do so we would need to delete what I can do instead is not pack them. Probably not the best way to do it, but I'm thinking with a for each. and then we pack it in here. And then we blast. So now we have the points in the center of each. So I can select these. This one, these two. Oh, whoops. There it is. That's kind of what I was thinking. And then we just need to build this setup here with these spheres, and then this just other kind of section there, or circles. That's pretty much what's left in terms of the buttons. And then we can do some booleans as well for where the buttons go. I mean, maybe we might not need it just because it's gonna be smaller in the scene. Maybe we don't need to go that far. But if we were just to kind of mess around with this, let's do a out here. And just to, before we go further and see if it's gonna look any good, we can drop in our remote. It's gonna be giant, but let me see, let me save this and then change the viewport so I could see a little bit more. So go to optimize, and then we'll do 40 million. Okay, I'll leave this open in case I need to change it again. And we'll do a match size here, so it's centered and above the grid, and we could scale it down as well. How's it going, human versus humans? Happy Friday the 13th. We're doing like a trying to do a creepy scene or something, semi-creepy. So it's gonna be this teddy bear that was in the middle of a crime scene or something. There's the remote on the floor, and then maybe we put glass or something on the side. And then the back part of the bear is kind of like bluish, kind of like if it was a TV light. Jason killing the teddy. I don't know. I won't have enough time for that. The Jason mask maybe on the floor. I don't know. Maybe that would be simple enough. You can't see it's all black. Let's add some color to these buttons for now. I don't know if I'm gonna have time to put all these little things on the buttons, so I might just simplify it. Oh, your phone is backwards. Yeah, that might help if you just flip it. You were staring at the back of the phone? Was that why it was black? I don't know. Is that what you mean? Or it was vertical sideways? Okay. So let's add some colors to the buttons and the base. So now it's black, but let's change the viewport color. Okay, and then here we'll start selecting some buttons. So those are gray now, like a lighter gray. And then the blue, we'll do this one and these 5. Something like that. And the black buttons, we're still missing these buttons here, but I just want to see what it looks like. So we'll do red here. Something like this, I think. And let's see what else. Green. I forgot to color one black. Was it that one? There it is. Okay, and then this is like a brown. Okay, so hopefully it's gonna look okay now. Let's check out the camera. So yeah, this is what it's looking like. We're missing some buttons and probably add some glossiness on the outside part, like this part. All right, we can add a few more things just to, before we get to fully finishing the controller. Let's actually build the shader for that. Remote. We'll do a geometry color. Yeah, when I assign them like that, it continues adding. Oh, okay, these are after the grid. We'll just put the grid very high in the top. And in the scene graph, we'll go into remote. We'll do the full thing. That way we get the color. Remote. Okay, so now it's glossy and we're gonna change it a bit. No, wrong node. There it is. We could lower the specular and maybe add roughness a little bit. I don't know. What do you guys think so far? Let's just do a different grid here. I'm trying to just scatter points on here. And then I'll just mesh them. Let's see what else. convert VDB to polygons. Might be too thick, but since we have the rug sticking up a little bit. Color. What's blood color? Like dark red, like wine? Okay, and then I don't know if I want to bring it in with the hair, so I'll just do another null. And we'll do object merge and we'll bring in that null that we created. And if we step back, that's not enough. That's like too little. We're gonna have to extend the puddle a bit. But then it looks like jelly right now, probably. Let's see. Yeah, it looks kind of like jelly right now, or not great at all. So let's go and make a shader for that. Copy the remote. Blood. Okay, let's go back. Okay. We said, okay, blood, got it. Need a new shader slot, and then we'll get blood, drop it in there, and bring in the blood here. Accept. Let's pin this view. Let's save and render. Let's go to our shader now and mess with it. Maybe darker. What do you guys think? Like it puddled and then it kind of went through. Let's go here. Instead of geometry color, we could just put a new color here. Disconnect it since it's just one. Oh, something happened with my viewport here. Yeah, I've been having issues with Karma XPU and getting these fatal error, and then I have to restart Houdini in order to get Karma XP back. Okay, so let's make it darker, more saturated. All right, let's flatten this a little bit. I mean, does it look like it has, like there's blood in there? Is it hinted? Maybe a little bit darker on the specular. Yeah, there's a fatal error that happens with when rendering in the viewport. I don't know what that is, but I'll have to restart Houdini for that, but I don't want to do that now. Yeah, Houdini's dramatic for sure. It's like the Karma XPU. Fatal error. I don't know why that happens, but it's being dramatic. Let's see. Should we make the blood bigger? I feel like the controller needs a little blood on it. I think it's looking kind of cool like that. Like it's not super shiny, but it's kind of like the blood poured under the rug, and you could see that there's fur, which also kind of works with the theme a bit. It doesn't look like blood right now. I mean, if you poured wine on a rug or carpet, I guess in some cases it could be brighter. The other thing I can do with the shader is basically add some noise on the color, and then the noise can have different intensities of red. So obviously not that right now. We'll add it to the mix, and then we'll put color here. And let's see what our color was. I'll copy this here. Paste that in there. And then paste it here as well. But let's make this just a tiny bit brighter. And then if we mess with the noise, let me make sure that I can add some UVs to that. what, like a regular UV texture, or let's do it like an auto labs UV. And because we have this mesh here, maybe we do a quad remesh. Okay, so that's looks like it's properly placed. And now we can hopefully see you can kind of see the noise there. And if we add just a bit more, obviously not cell, probably fractal. Then you just got to move this around until we see something that might work. Maybe like that. So if we render this, do we see it? I don't really see much of a difference. Let's make it darker. Now they're both the same. I need to make sure that there's enough contrast. Let me just preview the blood by itself. Now we're seeing a little bit. Okay. Okay, so now that we know we got noise there, all right, let's bring everything back in. There's like a little bit of gradation of reds and stuff like that. So yeah, we can work with this. And then let's work on the controller and adding something to it. So if we have this here, I'm gonna do a unpack on this side because we had, yeah, we have everything packed. Okay, it's fine. And then we'll transfer CD and then VDB polygons. We didn't really need to transfer CD, but let's see. So what I'm gonna do is the same thing that I did with the blood. I'm just gonna paint some areas and then spawn some points and then mesh them into another bloody kind of thing. Or we can probably just use the paint as a mask and use that in the shaders. So we'll do VDB convert to polygons. So now we have this container there. And I just needed to have enough resolution so that I can paint the like more detail on it. Okay, and then we could do an attribute blur. Not B, we'll do CD. And then the same thing we did before, a scatter. And put it on CD. And what do we do on the other one? Oh, we'll just do it again. We'll do the attribute adjust flow to control the scale of the points, and then VDB from particles, and then we'll put 0.001. We could also control the radius scale there. So if we were to not do it this way, I'm waiting for it to load because it's have too much resolution up here in the voxel size, so should have probably lowered it or made it a little bit higher so it doesn't give us that much resolution. All right, I'm gonna do escape. Hopefully we won't get a crash. Okay, let's turn it back on. So yeah, I think maybe just coloring the mask and making it a shader mask that we can use might be better. Yeah, it looks whatever. VDB smooth. How's everyone doing? Everyone hanging in there? They're not falling asleep? The chat is quiet, so just wondering. VDB from polygons. Sorry, VDB convert or convert VDB. It looks like snow on it, so I'm not gonna use that. We will use the painting on it. So we could do an attribute. We'll have to name the attribute, so we can do a attribute remap and then put what is it on primitives? Let's do instead right here. No, rename. Okay, so we renamed the paint from CD to mask. And we can now, let's look at that in the shader. Or actually we have to do a attribute transfer or a copy. I think transfer because the geometry changed. Mask. That's an issue here, so I don't want to do it, but I might just have to make this let's do a split. The problem is that it's meshing. It's trying to transfer the mask, but we don't have enough resolution. We could either do a VDB or we can actually do a divide and then turn off this and then do Bricker and then start lowering it. I don't know, something like that. Hopefully that didn't mess up our geometry. And we'll get a normals in here again, just to make sure. All right, let's take a look. Oh, XPU has the fatal error. Let's go back and what are we duplicating here? This should be just the buttons. Just the buttons, and then this is the control, and then this is this. Oh, okay, we don't need this here anymore. Okay, let's go into the shader now. To the blood one, and then we'll do the geometry property value, which lets us put in a attribute we want to use. And then if we do this, it should work. Okay. Oh, I did it in the blood by mistake. I'm in the wrong shader. Let's go to the remote. There. Okay, so we got that mask properly showing up. I just used emission just so I could see the difference right away. So here we can add maybe specular. We could also do another mix here. And we'll use this black and white. This is a foreground, and then here we have okay, the other way around. So now we can color this. And we could use another one again, but we won't use the foreground and background. We'll just put like white and I don't know, gray, and then put that into specular. Specular color can be like a tinted red. Let's do another mix here and do the color. And so we're here in color. Yeah, this might look confusing, but I'm just kind of trying to see what looks good when mixing this mask with different attributes here. I guess we'll just leave it like that. Let's remove these. We're at 1:17 in. I'm gonna try to wrap it up earlier today. I know everybody has their own things going on for the weekend, so I kind of want to chill out today as well. Although this is fun, for me this is also chilling. So yeah, our controller is getting some normal issues there. And we got to bring back this. Let's create those buttons in a bit that are missing. And we could probably just make big buttons. We could just make like longer rectangle buttons. We could bring in displacement, see what, ooh, that's too much. No, that thing just destroys our entire shader. Okay, and specular and coat, I'll just lower it. All right, let's go back to the controller, the remote, and let's create those buttons that we're missing. Let's organize this here. And then in here we can add those buttons that are missing. Okay. Let's do it here. We'll put it in the bottom of the chain. And I'll grab this setup here. And then instead of copying it like this, we'll do like that. We just need 3. There it is. And then our button color was what? Black? Yeah, black. We'll grab the black button here, delete all this. Now if we go back, everything hopefully should work. Right here, let's just add more divisions. Let's go back. All right, and then we said we possibly were gonna do glass. So what I'm gonna do real quick here is let's just create a sub create RBD material fracture, and then we'll do glass. And we'll turn off the scattering and do an add. We'll add our point. Let's move this up too. And then the point gets added to the last one. All right, so it says impact. We have our point here. Okay, let's look at the settings. Turn it off. Oh, we gotta drag. We gotta put the, turn this on. All right, so now we have the glass in the middle. We'll do more pieces around. We'll enable chipping. And obviously, let's save this. Okay. And then we'll do a bullet solver. We'll change the collision. Let's put ground. Let's lower the ground. I'm gonna put a sphere to be the collider. And we'll animate the sphere from here, here. So let's bring it down. Oh, did I I think I didn't animate it correctly. I did the radius. Let's delete. When I'm not looking at the right thing. Transform. Okay, so we go up on the transform and then bring it down. Done. All right. So now, oh, our floor just fell. Let's put deforming, and let's do the forces. We'll put 0. What happened there? It's not breaking. What's happening? All right. Let's see. And I drank so much water, I'm about to go to the restroom. I'll be right back in like maybe 2 minutes. I know the be right back screen says 5, but I'll be back in like 2 minutes. All right, I'm back. So, where were we? So we were trying to break this thing here. So what did I do wrong in this section here? So it has to be deforming. Deforming. I think the constraints are too strong. Like it's not breaking. Let's see. I mean, our thing here is pretty small. We can transform it a little bit bigger. That didn't make a difference at all. Troubleshooting. Okay, so it is shattered correctly. Like it's not strong enough for some reason. There, okay. So let's make sure we have gravity as well. So I had to add the RBD constraint property. Let's do a little bit less gravity. And we're gonna use a different shape, or we can just delete some of the outside pieces. Because the thing is, I don't like these edges on that are so harsh. So we can do a maybe. It won't be enough glass maybe, but we can. But I'm missing these pieces. Okay, I'm not gonna worry about doing it this way. Just gonna go in here and maybe we just poly bevel the edges here. This music's gonna help me work faster. Okay, so now let's shatter the pieces even more. We'll do a Voronoi fracture. We'll do ISO offset. We'll get a scatter. Okay. And we'll lower the points. So now we got more pieces, and then we'll connect this in here. And then hopefully we will also get the fractures in the middle. All right. All right, let's finish this off. It's a lot of pieces here, so let's do 5. Okay. We got some crazy stuff going on here, but let's see what it looks like shattered. This might look better. Like once it's settled in. All right, and this just time shift this, time shift, and then delete the frame we're in, so it gets stuck there. Just go back up, and now we have our glass we're gonna mess around with. Let's make sure it's high enough because we brought it down a lot. Or let's do a, right here, we'll do a match size. And then bring it to min. And then we'll none and none. And then we'll delete this here. That's kind of big, so we'll do a 0.2. Let's go to the camera 2. Oops. Just trying to move it. And then let's create the shader for the glass, which will be just a simple transmission glass. Okay, and then we got glass there. Okay, perfect. Transmission, we'll just put it all the way up. And let's do a test. Let's make sure we added that new material. Glass. Perfect. And then our material glass. All right, let's go to the camera, save and render. Let's move those pieces a little bit. Glass. Just gonna lower the position. Yeah, I thought the glass would look good, but you know what? Let's just leave it like this and let's render our image. Let's do a little bit of a light change here with our blue light. Just make it a little bit more intense. And then with our camera, we'll just zoom in just a bit. I don't know why this is all jacked up. There it is. Okay. Let me save this, and I'm wondering if I could just restart Houdini because the karma had that fatal error message on the viewport. So I'm just opening up Houdini in the other monitor, and as soon as it loads up, I'm gonna finish it off. Okay, so we'll open up the latest one there. Okay, so let's go and add, actually let's just, let's add a karma render setup, and we'll do 1080 karma XPU. We'll wait for it to finish. Okay, and then instead we're gonna do a slap comp import. That brings our entire image here. Let's go to composite view. I forgot what the node was for the depth of field, what the name of it was. I guess bokeh. Maybe. Or sorry, mask. It was mask. Is that what it is? I don't think this is the right setup. There is, I've done this before and I can't remember now which node it was. Let me check on side effects. Defocus. Okay, so now we bring in depth, source, is it not working? Let's see, we have, so in here we have depth. So that's working. Let's remove this one here. I guess just mess around with the focal distance. It's not working the not really getting the result that I want. That kind of just blurs everything out. Maybe something like that. Just a little bit blurry. And brightness. Something like that, and then automatic displacement. All right, and then we do a ROP and call it JL day 13 for final. Okay, this is pretty much it. And we're gonna do a PNG. Yeah, so this is pretty much it. This is the final image. Hope you guys liked it and enjoyed the stream so far. How did I learn all of this? Lots of time spending in 3D programs and a lot of videos, documents, reading. All right, so hope you guys enjoyed it. The stream is gonna be on replay again, so you guys can watch it from the beginning and see how I did some of the stuff for the fur and the ground and a little bit of the simple modeling for the controller. But yeah, thanks again, and I'll see you guys soon.